Prophecy, Isaiah 52 verse 7 and fulfillment, Luke 4 verses 14 and 15. To publish good tidings of peace. The Bible, a timeless source of divine wisdom, contains numerous prophecies that offer profound insights into the nature of God's plan for humanity. Among these prophetic passages, Isaiah 52 verse 7 stands out as a beacon of hope and fulfillment through Luke 4 verses 14 and 15. The journey from prophecy to fulfillment reveals God's eternal message of peace, and the significance of spreading the good tidings to all corners of the earth. In this essay, we will explore the prophecy of Isaiah 52 verse 7 and its fulfillment in Luke 4 verses 14 and 15, understanding its teachings and the day-to-day applications of sharing the message of peace. Isaiah 52 verse 7. The prophecy. Isaiah, one of the major prophets in the Old Testament, wrote during a period of great turmoil for the Israelites. In Isaiah 52 verse 7, the prophet's words convey a vision of hope for the future, assuring the people of a message that would bring comfort and peace. The prophecy reads, "How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings good tidings, who publishes peace, who brings good tidings of good, who publishes salvation, who says to Zion, your God reigns." These words speak of a messenger who will come with the good news of peace and salvation, bringing tidings of God's reign and presence. The mention of beautiful upon the mountains signifies the joy and celebration that will accompany the arrival of this messenger, heralding a new era of hope and divine intervention. Luke 4 verses 14 and 15. The fulfillment. The fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy can be found in the New Testament, in the Gospel of Luke. In Luke 4 verses 14 and 15, we witness the beginning of Jesus' public ministry and the realization of Isaiah's prophetic vision. It states, "Then Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit to Galilee, and news of him went out through all the surrounding region. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified by all." Jesus, the long-awaited Messiah, was the messenger of peace foretold by Isaiah. He embarked on his ministry, carrying the message of God's love, salvation, and reign. Everywhere he went, news of him spread like wildfire, and people glorified him for the good tidings he brought. To publish good tidings of peace. The teachings. The fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy through Jesus' ministry offers valuable teachings that continue to resonate with believers today. 1. The message of peace. The core teaching from Isaiah 52 verse 7 and Luke 4 verses 14 and 15 is the message of peace. Jesus came as the Prince of Peace, offering reconciliation between humanity and God. His teachings emphasized love, forgiveness, and compassion, and he called upon his followers to be peacemakers in a world marred by strife and division. The message of peace is as relevant today as it was during Jesus' time, urging us to seek harmony and unity in our communities and relationships. 2. Proclaiming the good news. Isaiah's prophecy highlights the significance of proclaiming the good news to all nations and people. The fulfillment in Luke 4 verses 14 and 15 shows that Jesus' message was not limited to a select few. It was intended for everyone. As followers of Christ, we are entrusted with the responsibility of sharing the gospel of peace with others, just as Jesus did during his earthly ministry. This involves both verbal proclamation and living out the values of the gospel in our actions. 3. Embracing hope and joy. The imagery of beautiful upon the mountains in Isaiah's prophecy symbolizes the joy and hope that accompany the arrival of God's message of peace. As believers, we are called to embrace this hope and joy, even in the face of challenges and trials. The peace that Jesus brings transcends earthly circumstances and provides an abiding sense of hope and assurance in God's faithfulness. 4. Living as glorified disciples. In Luke 4 verses 14 and 15, we see Jesus being glorified by the people for the good tidings he brought. As followers of Christ, we are called to live in a way that reflects his teachings and character. By embodying the principles of peace, love, and compassion, we become living testimonies to the transformative power of the gospel. Our lives, like Jesus, should bring glory to God and draw others to him. Conclusion. The prophecy of Isaiah 52 verse 7 and its fulfillment in Luke 4 verses 14 and 15 speak to the eternal message of peace and hope brought by Jesus Christ. As believers, we are called to carry on the legacy of spreading the good tidings of peace, sharing the gospel with all and living as disciples of Christ. In doing so, we participate in the divine plan of reconciliation and bear witness to the transformative power of God's love in our day-to-day lives. Let us heed the call to publish the good tidings of peace, bringing hope and joy to a world in need of God's redeeming grace.